What's up, YouTube magic people? I know we're at the point now. Everybody hates Dominaria United. We liked it, and then for 2 weeks before launch, everyone just opened the boxes, and then now everyone hates it. The prices are just plummeting, and it's terrible. Even though the cards are getting played in every single format, and I promise you that these defilers are going to be like, back like how the Praetors were, but you know what? We hate this set now. We're mad at it. We're mad at it. Even though it's got this awesome art, it's got Liliana, it's got a Johnny, it's got playable cards in every color, black, one of my, my personal favorite color, and yet it is just nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. So we're just here to open packs because no one likes it anymore. Might as well open it. It's worthless anyways. Might as well open it. But seriously, yeah, I'm just a little surprised. I'm just a little surprised that the negativity train has hit on this set, because like this set's awesome. Like the cards are good. The cards are cool. It's a cool set. It's got cool treatments. Like, whoa. See, look, the camera can't even stay up for how cool this set is. Like, that's where we're at, guys. That's where we're at. It's like tipping the scales, tipping our fate. So we're going to open 2 set booster boxes real quick. We're going to fly. We are going to fly through these. I promise you. We're going to fly quickly. Commons and uncommons, they're just going to go right here. Even though this set, again, with everyone getting negative, has uncommons. People like. Like, there are uncommons. Man, Herd Migration, I swear, is like the first rare I've opened from every set booster of this set that I've opened. So I don't know what's up with that. And the one thing I'll note so far, though, the art cards feel thinner. It feels like they maybe moved back a little bit on whatever printing they were doing for the art cards a little bit. Boy, got a duplicate in our showcase slot. Applause of Heroes. Very nice. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, I see a ton of action on this set. And I'm really excited for, like, the year of Magic it's about to usher in. Ooh, little Sheoldred. When we look back, like, let's go look back at what set was coming out this time. It was Midnight Hunt, which has some cool cards, but, like, the overall complexity to value was not quite there. Little Quirion Beast collar. She's calling. Do we answer? And, yeah, the cool thing about that is, we just don't know what the future holds. That's certainly true. Phyrexian Rager, classic card. I always liked Phyrexian Rager. And yeah, we don't know where we're headed. We know where we're going. Tyrannical Pit Lord is a pretty saucy one. And we got a drag to the bottom. Double rares. Double rares. Not too shabby. A little foily. So far, no list cards yet either. Interesting. But, yeah, I'm just shocked. Like, I went heavy on this because, I was definitely coming in with, like, man, oh, man, Dominaria, or Double Masters 2022, just whet the appetite. I'm ready to rip boxes and fill a binder and just do the whole thing. Do the whole thing. Annoying a Peacekeeper. That's not bad. Is this man, I've opened 2 of these in the list slot so far. 1 in each box. This is wacky. Does this box also have a Sheoldred then? Is the list order that coordinated? Because in our last box we did open that Linvala, and we also opened a Sheoldred. So let's see. I'm not mad about opening old Sheoldreds as long as we open some new ones too, y'all. As long as we open some new ones too, I'll be happy. Double showcase there. The World Spell. Haven't opened that yet. Beautiful mythic. And some Phyrexian Espionage. Let's look at that. Man, the World Spell. That's quite a goodie. We'll make a little slot for mythics over here. That's one thing. This set, there's so much going on. It's hard to find spots for everything. But yeah, again, I'm just shocked. I can't believe people have gotten so sour. Let's go back. Let's look back while we fly through these 2 boosters, and I'll say this. Ooh, gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that. Back in my day, it was almost hard to tell if a Magic set was good or bad right off the bat. Like, there'd be the limited environment and talk online. But, like, people were always waiting to see what really was going to come to fruition of a set. And sometimes the negativity monster would rear its head. But usually someone would say, oh, these are the good cards. Here's where the hits are. And even stuff like, I'll tell you this. When Time Spiral came out, nobody knew it was, like, a bomb right off the bat. Like, it took a little while for Tarmogoyf to take off. It took a little while for everybody to understand what we were seeing and the value of those cards. Like, ooh, triple showcase, Aether Channeler, and Jaya's Fire Nado. So that's where I find it to be interesting, because now it almost seems like a set is bad. All sets are bad. And there's good bad sets that see a lot of play. And there's bad sets. And the only set I feel like hasn't just been like trounced upon arrival in the last like 2 years was Kamigawa. Which, like, this compared to Kamigawa, is this one really like terrible? Man, Chain of Smog. There we go. We're in this duplicate cycle again. If you watch my other video where I opened a set booster box, Chain of Smog and Linvala were in the same box, I swear. Little braids. So I'm hopeful for that Shale Jade again. But yeah, I just don't know what to make of like the sudden, souring on a set that has good cards. I mean, even down to the uncommon slot, and constructed, it's all over the place. Like we're seeing so many Shadowrite Priest, very cool. Foil Llanowar Green Widow, okay, and Lil Wasatora. Lil Wasi, seen plenty of her now that Double Masters has come out, so not that hype on it, but it's fine. It's not a bad card. Yeah, so I just don't know what to think of like the overall, like, does the Magic community's response, man, I don't take this the wrong way. This might be the end of my channel. Does the Magic community's response matter at all? Does it? Because we're just going to inherently assume now that everyone's going to get negative. That the large bulk thing is going to be like, it's bad. It's bad. And it's like, so what do you want them to make? Like, what are people looking for if this isn't it? And like, I understand. I mean, I can see the difference as someone who barely plays anymore. Loosely pays attention to what deck archetypes are good. Like, I'm not going to consider myself a core player. My favorite way to play the game is opening cards, organizing them, putting them in my binder, and reading about prices. But as that, like, have we gotten to the point where people's ability to appreciate the game is just inherently so negative? I see cool cards all the time. Every set has cool cards. Magic design is strong. Ragefire Hellkite, pretty cool. The Raven Man, little double rare ski. And that's what I'm just kind of wondering is like, why does a set like this get received negatively? It's good. It's cool. I mean, these are gorgeous. And, is it just fatigue? Is it just that the core audience is just flooded with stuff, doesn't know how to respond other than with negativity, and it's just a fatigue? Little foil cut down. Because, I mean, look, cut down. That's a great uncommon. Like, Fatal Push, again. And I remember, wasn't Fatal Push like $10 for a while? Maybe it still is. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and is that upsetting? And maybe I'm getting to the real answer in discussing this with myself as we open packs. Is it that there's just a very negative vocal majority around every card in Magic? Like, the sense being, a card can be good, but then it's expensive, so we're upset by that. A card can be bad, so it's inexpensive, and we're upset by it being low quality. A set can be based around a theme, but not enough of it, so we're upset. Or a theme and too much of it, and we're upset by that. Like, I'm just trying to think back of like where, ooh, beautiful. Foil, Braum. Oh, I didn't realize Braum did that one. Awesome. What is the balance? Like, how does Wizards make a product? Because on the other side, as much as we're loaded on negativity, beautiful Mythic Sphinx of Clear Skies. Curse of Echoes. What is this card? Enchant a player, cast an instant or sorcery. Each other player may copy that. Whoa, wild. Okay, didn't know about that in our list slot. Another rare, too. Are we at 3 rares in our list slot? And Chain of Smog? Wow, okay. List slot treating us right tonight. And we got a Mythic. Boop. So, like, is it just that the bulk of the negative feedback? Because overall, like, let's be real. If the ultimate feedback is sales, I mean, I'm a guy who kind of fell off of Magic and stopped caring until I got into the prices and the cards again and organizing my collection and having space, and just like dove in, and I'm loving it. I am incredibly stoked. Beautiful Ivy. on where Magic's headed, what Magic's currently doing. Ooh, triple rare pack, lovely. Stronghold Arena and foil. And what's going on overall with the game. Like, I think we're seeing great design. To me, this set just feels like really good, especially comparatively. Like, Streets of New Capenna, I thought was a cool set. Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, man, take a follow-up to a set that was kind of janky and awkward and just knock it out of the park. And yes, I will absolutely jump on the train of I do have some negative feelings to the overall execution. Beautiful. Silverback Chieftain. Hello. It's a lovely mythic rare there. That, you know, yes. Commander's Legends 2, Battle for Baldur's Gate. I think under-delivered on the Commander's Legend label. The D&D IP crossover, Baldur's Gate. Pick up your trash, folks. Pick up your trash. And, you know, that was underwhelming. I think, like, you even look at it, and to me, I'm like, there is missed potential. Like, I think I could write a review on this is what should have been done instead here in a lot of places. Reality Hemorrhage again. And that was in my other pack, too. What is up with the list slot? Is, like, the collation that tight? Where there's that much similarity in cards? Because Chain of Smog, Linval, and Reality Hemorrhage were in the last box of this I opened. And, like, the list slot has hundreds of cards on it. Or 100 cards, right? At least 100? So, you know, is that just where we're at? Is that, like, hey, we should anticipate the negativity, but the real thing is that, like, let's look at the real indicator. Magic sales, which, from everything I know, is doing phenomenal. And they did just push a price increase. And that may be a little greedy, and like sometimes sure, when you push a price increase, there's market adjustment. Overall revenue goes up, maybe overall sales go down. I think mitigating the potential of sales dropping. Ooh, Urza assembles the Titans. Very cool. You know, I think mitigating the potential that some sales might drop with that price increase, but also, are sales dropping? I mean, I've been buying up Magic cards left and right like wild. And I know people get the printing concern. You know, that's the other knob that we're kind of in the dark on of like, well, if more cards get bought and they've adjusted how print runs work, you know, Kamigawa's and Modern Horizons 2 are going to be in print forever. You know, they'll never leave print, so the cards are worthless. Ooh, beautiful. Soul of Wind Grace. You know, is that negative for the game? Is it like, are we just looking at all negativity? Sure, I don't think there's going to be that next generation of like, it's a Black Lotus, just wait 20 years. I don't think that's going to happen. But, I mean, if that's all you're playing for, just save up your money and buy Black Lotus. Like, I don't think its price is coming down anytime soon. A little double rarity. By any means. And I think also, if the day and age comes where Magic as like an entire thing, the entire market groups, why wouldn't Black Lotus go down? And should you buy into it? And is it overhyped? I mean, ask yourself those questions. I think part of the reserve list fun is that, yeah, it's an unregulated market and it's gambling, but there are absolutely potentially hostile forces. Beautiful double Lord with a foil there. There are potentially hostile forces at play in it. And sure, there might be people trying to pump and dump, but if you aren't in the game for either the joy of selling it, flipping it, collecting it short term, or long term holding it, I mean, that's my thing. Yeah, I open a ton of boxes on this channel, and like, I really don't play. And I've always told myself, well, I've got a ton of open cards. If I ever needed to back up my position, or get out of this, or just justify this, or recoup some of it, I would move in and sell hard. And in the end, would I have probably lost some money? Yeah, probably. The mod is pretty cool. But I also buy sealed boxes and just hold them. And I understand that market's facing pressure. We're also in a huge bear market right now. You know, like, it's looking like this recession thing is going to stick. It's not cataclysmic by any means. And as an older millennial, been through a few of these. Seen the market take a few dives. Lived through a few I wasn't even aware of as a child. Old Irte resurrected. Very cool to see old Irte back. So, you know, not too worried long term. You wait it out. The sun comes out again tomorrow. It happens. I mean, it can be bad for a few years, but like, gosh, I remember just like living through the times of 2008 and, you know, just being a broke kid, really, like a 20 something, and, you know, just blowing my paycheck at the bar and just having fun and living life and not thinking too much about tomorrow. And, you know, a little bit, Lone Speaker, very cool. Captain's Call. 1,000-Year Elixir. Hey, that's a cool one. 1,000-Year Elixir is a pretty good little card. Nice little Lorwyn rare. Didn't know that was on the list. But, you know, by and large, that came and went. And sure, the job market was tough. Pay was low. But also, people got out of that. We came back. And when you look back on it at the time, you know, people got laid off. People close to me, my family got laid off. You know, I don't think we're anywhere near that. Thank goodness. You know, I don't want to see a huge housing bubble. Another Ivy, very good. Scarred Peaks. Oh, Sacred Peaks. I'm sorry. You know, but we got through that as a society, and things kind of came out better on the other end. I mean, not everything got fixed from that, but, you know, people went back to work, the unemployment rate's down. Even coming out of, you know, we've seen COVID, we've seen 9/11, we've seen all these huge things hit us, and I know I'm getting into really some heavy topics when really I just want to be flying through a set booster and, ooh, Vesuv and Duplimancy, I love you. You know, just getting after it, but, like, you know, it's weird to me to see the negativity, because one thing I'll say is that's where you have a choice. Just like in life, if you look at all the negative things, if you're focused on the negative, that's what you're going to see. Beautiful art there. That's what your life is going to be based on. Also, if you're into Magic cards, if you're positive on them and you're buying them and you're creating positive interaction, Leaf Crown Visionary, very nice, you are actively helping create a positive environment in which the future of the game can sustain itself. If you're someone who is investing a lot of time in Magic, but mostly going online to complain about it and forecast Magic's downfall, the only thing you are helping beyond your immediate emotional state is, you know, ushering in beautiful temporary lockdown foil. Is usher in the end of this thing that you yourself are putting time into. It's very backwards. It's very backwards, guys. I'll say this. As someone who, yeah, I mean, 5 mythics on the box. Not bad, not good. Kind of right smack in the middle. Interestingly enough, no mythics in our list slot, but 1, 2, 3, 4 rares. That's pretty wild, isn't it? 1, 2, like 6 cards from the list and 4 are rares. Very weird coalition. So anyways, as we get into box 2, and, you know, I'll keep the goodies out so we can kind of recap. But you know what's interesting about this box? Low, like, what? No Defilers, no Sheoldred, no Planeswalkers. Like, wow. Okay, no Sleeper Agent or Awakened Sleeper or whatever it is. Like, wow, really kind of a weird box as far as, like, none of the good stuff, and there's quite a bit of good stuff in the set. So let me throw some trash away, and we'll get to box number 2. But anyways, what I was saying is, like, I don't think the sky is falling on Magic, and I don't really think, even if you're someone who's frustrated or you think some of the more recent sets haven't been very good, that's a really reasonable place to be currently. And not to knock anyone, I mean, all for competitive research and, like, hold the game, hold Wizards accountable. You know, it's a product. You invest a lot of time. You're passionate about it. But to me, it's just like, if that's the position you're in, it's kind of counter to your net gain to be angry and upset and destructive towards the environment around this product. Because guess what? The secondary market, people playing this and buying this, is what gives Magic value. If everyone stops caring and Magic is terrible and no one likes Blast Lotus anymore, it's only $60,000 if they still find that rare guy who wants to sell it for that. And if we're all just crapping on the game in its 30th year, what? I mean, okay, yeah, Black Lotus gets cheaper, but if we just doomsay it into never going up again, who cares that it was one day worth 60K and now it's 40K and we doomset it into 20K and then it's just worthless because no one buys them anymore? Like, that to me would be the most disappointing thing ever. And, you know, this might be a weird analogy. Man, maybe I'm going some weird places. I've thought about, as someone who's trying to put a modest investment into sealed cards and open cards. Not that I'm like, hey, I'm going to retire on this. Definitely, I'm not a financial advisor, and B, make responsible choices with your money, kiddos. I'm out here on Magic because I think it's something I enjoy, and I'm putting a lot away for retirement and a lot of more stable resources. This is just a fun one. And also, hey, if I get the chance to do something fun that might possibly battle inflation the tiny bit, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it. So that's just one thing I'll say is that, like, I think it's counterintuitive to be someone who's involved in the game. Now, if you're negative and you're on your way out, say your piece. Like, I'm not here to censor anybody. You know what I mean? Like, you can be critical of this game. I think there's plenty to be critical of. But the fact that it's almost like the environment's turning to just be inherently, decidedly negative. Why? Jade Avenger in our list slot. Little Modern Horizons 2 listicle. Boop. Like, why? Like, what do you get out of just being upset? And again, objectively looking back, they're not all hits, guys. Like, I think I felt awkwardly negative originally about Ikoria, and then I opened some packs, and I actually found myself enjoying it. And I felt very skeptical about Zendikar Rising, and I have mixed feelings about that set. I mean, it's clear to me that, like, no set is really going to hit the way our beloved original Zendikar block hit. Another Braids. Ooh, Braids Frightful Return. That's cool in foil. And, yeah, I mean, that's where I'm still a little, like, hey, not every set's going to be a winner. But when we look at those other big long-term things, Magic is entering its 30th year. The original trading card game. And what I really start to think about is this. That says to me that probably 2 to 3 generations have now shared a love of this. Ooh, Shauna, Mythic Showcase. Love it. Make it new Mythic slots just so we can track them. A little rare ski. A little foil ski. And Ceremonial Guard, just a weird little Mercadian Masks list slot card that I definitely have floating around in my box of random crap. Anyways, what? I don't imagine many baby boomers were into Magic, but some Gen X and young millennials, like we were young when these came out, now we're old. But, that's who was kind of like existing at the time to buy these cards originally, right? Predominantly. Then, we've definitely got Gen Z coming in, and there's definitely a lot of Gen Z players. Like, I love that it's called Millennial Jund. As an old millennial who wears that with a badge of pride and doesn't care if you call me whatever you want to call me, I am stoked that it's called Millennial Jund because I'm a millennial and I like Jund. Let's go. We are the next baby boomers. Sell us our own nostalgia. We'll vote the country into whatever we want it to be short term and leave it for all of you to solve our problems. It's going to happen. Just heads up. Watch it. Anyways, the only thing I can say is that, like, if we just poo-poo Magic to death in our own time, we will kill it. You have in your hands the power to love or kill this game. And right now, we've loved it. We've loved it well. We've made up a new thing. There was no collectible card game really like this before this. And there's been a lot of after. And as we've seen, we're in the day and age where, like, in Japan, there's a much more rampant market. In America, beyond Pokemon, which kind of shares a unique space in that the IP is incredibly beloved. The cards are largely opened by an audience who does not play the game. And there is exaggerated post-social media influencer card prices alongside, just a love for Pokemon. I mean, Shivan Devastator. Hey, there's a love for Pokemon in general. Like, for me, I don't really play the game much. I played a little online here and there and dabbled with it. And during COVID, actually, I got into it a little bit just because I was sitting at home and I was like, this is cool. Let's buy some cards. Oh, they're not that expensive online. But I also remember, too, years ago reading the articles and hearing about, there's a set that was printed and it went from $30 a box to $80 a box. And then they came out and said, we're going to print more of it. And just flipped the pricing of the game on its head, short term. Now, long term, you're looking at it and saying, wait, the pricing of the game, like, there's still value in Pokemon cards. And there's probably definitely some value in sealed boxes. Again, if you're buying whatever, Twilight Brilliance or whatever the most recent set, Unfathomable Sparkle Gel, or whatever awesome sort of like toothpaste media empire naming they do, Astral Radiance. I love the way they name their product, by the way. It's just the most like generic gobbledygook awesomeness to like Astral Brilliance, Radiant Thunder Flick. Like, it's just so, even for Pokemon, it is good. There we go, Raven Man. That I love what they do over there. I am a big Pokemon fan in general. But, just look at it. Magic's special. Magic is, when most people say, oh, it's a collectible card game, they're going to think of Pokemon, and they're going to think of kids in their room, like, fascinated with these colorful cards, and a kid moving cards around a table where he's not very good at it, and he can't really play it. Oh, my brother's calling me off to get back to him. But beyond that, the thing... Ooh, Rith. Senator Connoisseur. Man, I feel bad my brother's calling me. I would really want to take this call, but we're in the middle of it. Like, beyond what that means, I mean, I think for anybody else who's kind of in the hobby shop, comic shop, gaming, competitive gaming world, you've crossed paths with old MTG in your day and with Arena, and I think Arena's a smart hedge into moving to digital. And that kind of brings me around full circle. I've thought about, as someone investing in this, like, what happens when the light begins to fade on Magic? Because I'll say this, even in a game with a strong secondary market, man, shifting wall. If collectively, if the world in general starts caring significantly less about this game, it puts the game into a new position, a downward spiral. And that's why I'm very glad that Wizards has been active about talking about two things. And again, this kind of brings me to my other point, negativity around the game. Wizards has talked openly that the game needs two things, sustaining players and acquisition of new players. 100% agree. And I also really appreciate that, much like Pokemon, beautiful Runeveld Horde Masters, good rare, that they have looked and said, look, we are going to gain players and we are going to lose players. What we need to do is continually be gaining new players to sustain the game. And you may say to yourself, well, yeah, but like, I don't play Commander and I like to play Vintage or I like to play Modern and sometimes my format really takes a nosedive. I get that, but by and large, for this thing to still be worth it for any of us, even if your format becomes incredibly niche or your format stays incredibly popular, for this to work, there has to be new lifeblood. Because if all the kids coming up at home right now suddenly are like, it's not digital, I don't like paper, why would I do this? We're in deep trouble, guys. Because then everybody who cares is on a clock. There's a certain amount of us, and we start dying and getting out of the game. You know what I mean? Like, we start exiting caring. And if Magic is just on a negative trail, this secondary market, these prices, sure, there might be some short-term, like, sustaining of patterns or even increases, but eventually, it's on a dying path. And I've had to just think about that of, like, if I want to take more of a risk in investing in Magic long-term, what does that look like? And I rationalize with myself, look, I don't think Magic can't die overnight. Even a year, even a dramatic year, like, let's say suddenly, like, let's try to imagine a super hypothetical strong pattern in which this occurs. Paper becomes hated by the northern hemisphere predominant populace of human beings. Okay? Ooh, we're gonna drag to the bottom, and then we're gonna foily a Johnny sleeper. He's taking a nap. And we got a room-tailed Kitsune, little rare ski. Ooh, that's a cool one. Haven't seen that one before. And this is a beauty, so you go here. So let's say paper is outlawed because the world's so hot it burns in your hands. Okay, Magic's going to have a problem. Magic's going to have a big problem. And what will probably happen is just prices get shattered. There might be some way to move, but it also might be that there's just so much of it that we go at the market, no one can buy, and you're just caught holding what becomes a toxic asset to worthless. you know, not even really a toxic asset, but like truly devalued. That's an extreme circumstance, and in that way, it's extreme overnight. Otherwise, you know, just the thing we don't want to see happen is that Magic like takes a downward trend. I think there's something special and cool, and I would really hope, beyond the beautiful research they're doing at Wizards for acquisition and always trying to appeal to new people and make the game more welcoming, all here for it. Women, men, they, them, kids, dogs, cats, everyone should play this game. It's so cool. Like, Magic is psychologically expressive and something they should never lose. Revolve of the Claw is a cool card. So the big thing I would just say is, like, I hope they keep branching this thing out. And you know, it's so interesting. Like, for us players in the current time, I mean, I knew Magic for a long time when Commander didn't exist. I knew Magic when we had heard of Commander as kind of this weird, gimmicky thing. Like, back in Zendikar Standard, I remember putting cards in my binders and being like, well, I guess maybe someone would want that for that weird new format. I wonder if that Commander thing will ever take off. Seriously. And then seeing Commander just, like, explode to where now it's like, it is the backbone of the secondary market. It is probably the most widely played format, and it was a way to add some formality to casual kitchen table play. Because the big thing that always challenged, you know, the casual market, and that they knew that they needed a way to better interact with what we'll call the silent majority. This group of people who like Magic, play it with their friends, but don't really have a well-regulated format, and then it just becomes this, like, pricing arms race, and people getting more competitive, and then eventually, ooh, Dragon's Approach, you just end up playing Standard with not everyone understanding that's what's happening, and that wasn't really good. Or let's just proxy a vintage deck and kick everyone in the butt, and then say, let's make it more fair. And it's ironic that Commander's prices have skyrocketed like they have to make it more fair. You know, but that's good. Having high secondary prices is healthy for the game. It says there's an overall interest and value in this game. And so, you know, we want people feeling good about Magic. And by and large, ooh, Karn, Living Legacy, the normal one, very good. Ooh, Karna. So that's a goodie. You know, like, to me, it's just like, just next time, if you're frustrated, like, don't get me wrong. Ooh, Commander Rare. When I've opened packs from sets that I don't think were that good, it's left me with a little bit of a cold feeling, like, oh, this wasn't that good. But I'm not going to go on Reddit or Twitter and just be like, Magic's lost it, Wizards is stupid, it's terrible, all the zero, die. Because, like, I want to see the next set. I want to take the next crack at it. I like that in a bad set, there are good cards. Merchant Scroll from Homelands. Anyone? I like Merchant Scroll. I like the idea that even the worst set in Magic has a card that's played in a tournament. I like the idea... Ooh, little Cultist Priest in a foily. I mean, I like that Magic has variation. All the cards can't be good and shouldn't be good, and it would be bad for the game. Just like all the cards don't need to be $20 Mythic Rares, and the game literally could not economically support that. So we need a mix. We need the power level of the game to go up and go down. Guys, I played from Ice Ages up to now. Like, we've seen that thing roll like a wave, I'll tell you what. I mean, and also we've seen things where people loved Invasion, and I thought it stunk. I thought, we've lost the plot. Like, let me tell you that. I was a cynical teenager. Invasion plans, huh? Interesting. And I thought... Invasion, they've lost the plot. They're just slapping colors on cards. The game's just about kooky stuff now. But then I took some time to look at it, and it was awesome. And then high school came into my life, and girls, and skateboarding, and going to parties. And my Magic cards mostly just sat up in my closet, and, like, I hid my little dime bag of weed in it from my parents, because I knew Magic was so nerdy, they're not going to look in the box of my Magic cards. And then... towards the end of high school, I remember cruising home from, like, my job I was working when I was, like, 18, getting ready to go to college, full RR car waste. A little Joda, a little Mythic. And I remember, Assault Formation. I remember then going and just popping into, and this was when booster packs were sold at 7-Eleven, guys. I don't know if you remember this. This is definitely before social media, after 9/11. You want to know about a weird America? Let me take you to 2004 America, okay? You could go to 7-Eleven and just for some random money, buy like a pack of Legions, a pack of Scourge, a pack of Mirrodin, and like go home and crack it and be like, what's popping off with old Magic these days? Because I'll tell you what, that was the thing. And that's what kind of got me back in. I opened those first few things and it was like Broodstar and Umezawa's GT. And I was like, dude, what the heck is going on? Every Magic card's ridiculously powerful now? Why? Karn Liberated? Let's go! Yo! Double Carney? Let's go! We love it. Oh my gosh. Mwah! And this brings me to another thing. This is the new Phyrexia. I promise you. Dominaria United is the new Phyrexia. And if it gets better from here on out, guys, you're sitting on good cards. This, if it's good like this, guys, low-key, get close. If it's good like this, this is Zendikar block. This is Scars and Mirrodin block stuff. I am telling you what, when there are cards this good, when standard shifts this much, oh, Sheoldred, we are doing it now. Oof, this box is good to us. When they're this good, guys, if they follow this up right, and then Brothers War, and then we get the, Return to New Phyrexia, and then Return to New Phyrexia, Avengers font, Aftermath, our second crack at an Avengers set, not War of the Spark / War of the Spark. You guys are into some great stuff. Open these packs. Your cards will be worth a ton. Save some sealed product. Don't get salty, especially right now if prices are dropping, you guys. I promise you, you will not regret it. Because, ooh, foil full art Chivalry, a couple rare skis. I will tell you this. As a broke 20-something who was, working at Whole Foods and dating a vegan and had gauged out ears and was like riding a bike and like doing that whole thing and going to shows and like had a 12-pack of PBR in my bike bag and didn't even have a TV in my living room. We just had 4 couches, 2 coffee tables, and played a ton of Standard all day. I can tell you, I scrounged money together to buy boxes of Zendikar. I loved it. I do regret not holding on to a couple of those sealed. And I'll tell you, time flies fast, guys. That wasn't a different person. That wasn't a different lifetime ago. It was just a fast decade ago. And so I'll tell you, when I see stuff like this, that's why it's worth the gamble. And that's why also, you don't crap on this stuff, guys. You don't turn around and just say, it's terrible, it's awful, because it will be. And the only thing you're going to do is encourage people to buy less boxes and encourage Wizards to print less and encourage them to tighten their belt in the future. And then you're going to push the few boxes of the people who believe through the roof when it comes that this was still good and we still love the game. So get in, play. Come play with all of us. Stay positive. We are a team. If you're watching this video, if you like Magic, we're on the same team. We like Magic. We want it to be better. I threw a ton of money at them when all I could afford was Homelands packs or Chronicles packs, and I just wanted more cards, and I wanted to access old cards because old cards were better, and no one played Snow, and that's what was out there. So come play with us on Team Magic. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's love ourselves and the game. Cruelty of Gaix, very cool. And let's all play together. Let's all play together. Because, you know what? Mercadian Mask was awful, and now people love it. There's so many things. Kamigawa was awful, and now people love it. There are so many things that were so much negativity, and the game survived. But let's help it. Let's keep what we love surviving. I can't wait to be 60 years old and meet that kid who is 12, obsessed with Magic, going forward with it. Beautiful. Double rare ski. And Magic's still doing strong. And I get to go over to my bookshelf and show him my rares. And he's like, you have that card? Grandpa, you're crazy. Guys, that's where we want to be. So, long story short, we've lived through some damage. We've seen some wild stuff. Let's keep it up, y'all. We have the power to help this thing go where we want it to go simply by loving it, enjoying it. You can be critical of it, but don't let negativity dominate our lives on this one, guys. There's just too much to live for. And with that, we're just going to flash the fact that this last box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mythics, one of which is foil, and we got Karn's Brothers. Stay positive, stay hopeful. Love Magic. It was a long one, but thanks for joining me. I had a lot to say. Love y'all. Peace.